That too. Flatulence is not a divine wind. Welcome to the New Spirit Radio Show by the Society of Novus Spiritus, founded by world-renowned spiritual teacher Sylvia Browne. Today's date, man, I sure hope it says October 28th of 2024. Coming to you live from California, both NorCal and SoCal, are your hosts, Reverend Tom Bigley and Reverend Catherine Taylor, playing audio segments we call Messages from Spirit. Why? Helping you answer the fundamental question, what are we here for?
These segments are recorded trance sessions from Francine, Sylvia's spirit guide. So for new people, Sylvia was a full trance medium, which means Sylvia contracted to let her and Francine's essences exchange places in Sylvia's body. And we think of our bodies being similar to a car. One driver gets out and another driver gets in, and this allowed Francine to share spiritual knowledge with us directly from the other side.
On occasion, another master teacher and healer, a guide named Raheim, would exchange with Sylvia and present us with spiritual information as well. Francine and Raheim shared directly from sources like the Akashic Records, Mother and Father God, our spirit guides, Christ, and many others.
And meanwhile, during trance, Sylvia would sit on a nice bench on a rose garden on the other side.
And here are our hosts, Reverend Catherine Taylor and Reverend Tom Bigley.
Hello, how are you?
Howdy-do. We made it. We're here,
Fabulous.
which is good. Well, fun.
Always good. Yes.
Glad we're both here. Glad everybody watching is here as well, regardless of when you're seeing this. So welcome everyone. Welcome the new people as well. I gotta put a note in there to remind myself where and when welcoming people. So I'm gonna start out with an agenda. Yes, we have an agenda. So that everybody can understand, hey, why do we share so much time with each other here? What are all these fun things that we learn about? So we'll start out with some announcements. Then we get into how did you use Novus Spiritus philosophy? If you're familiar with that, now's a good time to start posting in the chat. How did you use Novus Spiritus philosophy? We follow that by special prayers and a moment of silence. Then we get into the trance segments. That's followed by a meditation, a short meditation. Then I'll talk about some closing notes. And later we'll have a special prayer ceremony we call a novena. I'll explain a little bit. No, I'll explain that a little bit later. Then I emphasize a bit about appreciation, and we conclude with a prayer by Sylvia. And we like to begin with lighting a candle. Except I have a fan on in here, so we might be lighting a candle in the wind. Nope, we did pretty good. Fun. So announcements. I have a few. If I could just get to the button that tells me about announcements. There we go. Announcements. Please do share, promote, subscribe, click on the bell, and the cat will appreciate it. Also, you can donate via credit card or Venmo or PayPal, which you can find on our website, a place to donate on our website. Again, welcome to all the new subscribers and followers. My other favorite announcement, we've heard hindsight is 2020. No, not the not yoga trying to look at yourself. Hindsight about seeing things and looking at the things in the past. When we've heard hindsight is 2020. So get a reading with Chris Dufresne can be that hindsight for you in the future. So don't miss out on Chris questions on specials. You can sign up on the website. You'll get noticed. Go to chrisrightnow.com for your notices. Wow.
Fantastic.
Looks like the end of the notices. I was like, where did everything go? So that follows up by how did you use Novus Spiritus philosophy? I'd like to poke at Cat. Cat's gonna either choose to go first or point at me, or we can do rock, scissors, paper, or we can put everybody else on the spot.
All right, I'll volunteer to go first. I, of course, left it in the other room, but I did I did flowers with a couple other people. So the last couple of weeks,
yeah.
So the last couple of weeks we've been talking about making flowers for different important themes in our life. So, for instance, a flower about fear, a fear flower. There's a hope flower, a beliefs flower, and this is an exercise that that Francine shared with us. So was really excited to share this. So I did it with a couple people, and it has brought out some really interesting discussions, and that's been neat. And for myself, I did actually learn when I sat down to do my beliefs flower. I learned some things about myself that I wasn't expecting. And I was like, what do I really believe? And if I only have 5 spots to pick, like what is that I'm gonna pick? And so I'll be happy to go grab that between segments. But the one that I'm going to do today while we're here, I'm going to do my hopes. So we've done. So we did fear, we did beliefs last time, and I think she said either hopes or loves or both of them. Do you recall? Does anyone else recall? We can put it in the comments section. But I'm having a blast doing these. I am learning things about myself. So one of the things that I learned about myself was for the beliefs I had written down after some meditating on it, lead with light. And that is not a phrase that I had ever had in my mind before, but that definitely is a very strong value when I had to sit down and articulate it. It's like, what is the presence that I want to give to the world? And I believe very, very strongly in setting a good example, and so the phrase "lead with light" is what came to mind. Just to offer, show up, be of service to the world, and then, as Sylvia says, shut up and go home.
Yeah.
So, but lead with light, that was a phrase, and so now I'm like integrating that into like and articulating it in on the inside. So
interesting. Okay.
Really happy for that. I'll grab it between segments, but
okay.
What about you, Tom? What did you use in Novus philosophy recently?
So I had to, I took advantage of. I've mentioned in the past about paying attention to when thoughts come to mind. It's like write them down and treat them like they're your grandma's favorite cookie recipe. Well, I did. I was like thumbing and speaking into my phone to make notes. So okay, so the next thing is I gotta find out where I hid. Oh, all right, sorry, where I hid my notes. I put them over here somewhere. Oh yeah, all right. Oh, okay. I think I found my notes here.
Oh, good.
So I gotta. I'm gonna do my best to read this.
Sure.
So for me, insecurities feel like buy me, give me, get me, because I didn't see the other possibilities, which I've learned is a false viewpoint. There's other ways to get stuff instead of expecting the world to give you and finding the looking through the bargains, expecting to find stuff, and that's the only way to get things, which and seems inspired by another insecurity that feels like I need someone to hold my hand and show me how. However, when suggested to improve self-discipline with exercises like moving a stack of bricks from one side of the yard to the other until you like it, just shuts me down emotionally. And it contributes to, why should I trust you? It kind of like feels like the preschool story of the little lost bird wandering around asking, "Are you my mother?"
Yeah.
Finally, after not finding the proper or suitable hand to show me how, I asked, how do I fix this? Well, it occurred to me, how do I hold my own hand and guide me? Which I stopped. It was like, oh, that's got to be some kind of infusion. And I started asking for guidance. How do I hold my own hand and not be a hermit? You know, because along those lines, I'm thinking, well, you know, we've got to work with be social, and if I'm trying to hold my own hand and guide myself, you know, I still need to interact with the world. So I put in there, you know, not be the hermit, and a key for me that this was the right question to ask was to the key a key for me that this is the right question to ask is getting similar nightmares 2 nights in a row regarding similar issues and the same characters. Now, for me, normally nightmares are far and few between. So that was, you know, part of the indication. And the point being is applying, you know, two of Novus puzzle pieces. You know, I've talked about the analogy of Novus philosophy. You're going to get like a whole bunch of puzzle pieces and they go, oh, these are really cool. And then one of them is going to connect those together. And then you'll be like, oh my gosh. So for me, this was like a couple of puzzle pieces pulling things together for me. You know, one is being smart enough to ask the right question, and two, because we don't just go out and say, help me, help me, help me. We got to be specific and ask, and we got to be smart enough to ask the right question. We can't just say, oh, what do I got to ask? And secondly, as your spirituality rises, so does negativity. And the thought that came to mind right after that was, okay, bring it on.
Yeah.
So that's my
That's amazing. That was amazing. I want to give snaps. It was so good.
okay.
Oh, really. I really resonated to a couple of things that you were saying.
Like
About I really like the. I can definitely relate to people saying, you know, if you just do it enough times until you love it, it's like, well, then how do I trust you? And that can shut me down emotionally too.
Oh, okay.
That's relatable, I think, because I think sometimes, especially if you're in a totally new, unknown situation, and this is where fears of success comes in, because it's like, if I am successful, I've never been successful before. What is that going to look like? And now everything is new, and I'm going to panic a little bit. So, especially in a situation like that, for me, when you don't know who to trust or what to trust, and then someone is there saying like, okay, just do this enough times until you love it. Like, how do you know? So I really appreciated you sharing your thought process on how do you meet that moment. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you as always. And in our comments, we have quite a few lovely shares. So hello to everyone. It is so good to see you all again on another wonderful Wednesday with our community. Jorge asks for a prayer request, saying if we could please keep his sister in our prayers, that she finds a safe and good apartment before the next month is up. So we will keep that top of mind as we proceed today. Floofy's very active today because he has been bullying Java, and we've been doing our best to like steer them. But apparently, if you say their names and one of them looks, then it's not a fight. So I don't know. Hi, you gonna come up? Thank you for your participation. Thank you. Ron shares, I've been wearing my his inanimate object that we talked about a couple months ago, that emits white light. The light contains love, peace, joy, peace and joy. Wherever I face, the light shines on people. It's great. What a beautiful inanimate object. Fantastic. So not only is it protecting you, but it's reflecting out just incredibly positive emotions. I love it. Strong symbol. Great. Let's see here. Reverend Cass is here and Reverend Danny's here. Fantastic. Good. Great as always to see you. Cass says, I've been asking myself if my actions are in line with the person I want to be and become. I'm reminding myself that I'm always in a state of becoming. Oh, that's lovely. I definitely reflect on that a lot. And I've, especially in the recovery of long COVID. Oh, I had an interesting thought about long COVID or post. So we're saying that maybe not 100% of the lessons were just for me, but also maybe just like for patients within my family. And I thought that was interesting. There's a lot of things that I took away and that I'm going to apply in the future, but I don't know. I bring it up because I have a person that I wish to be and to become, and I've had to have a lot of patience with myself and patience with circumstances so that I don't run too fast so it's a slow recovery, and it's okay. That's okay. But it is a recovery. It's good. More comments. Danny says, Reverend Danny says, your will is God's will. Yes. Amen to that. Aaron shares, I always give my spirit guide and angels credit where credit is due. That is lovely. I'm sure they are touched by that gesture. Garden shares, I am hoping to join a beginner's Pilates class. Thanks, Kat, for the inspiration. I'm super shy. Please say prayers. I don't have stress. Oh, I'm so proud of you. That is fabulous. I think I can speak for everyone here. We're super proud of you, and for everyone else who is thinking about one thing they can do to take better care of yourselves. Remember, God created you. You are worth it. You are worth taking care of if you are one of God's creations, which you are. So no stress. I mean, you're going to stress out about it, but just move past it. You're welcome. If you're taking care of the part of you that God created, and that's marvelous. Yes.
Can I offer a we're supposed to we're supposed to empathize first and not try and fix the thing. However, we're given our 2 bits of helpful tools for you. Another one that comes to mind is visualize yourself in the session that you're calm and calm and cool, that it's for you and the purpose you're there for, and visualize yourself afterwards.
Yes.
That was fun. I got through this. I did this. I felt good, and now I feel better. And even give
really
yourself even give yourself a reward afterward.
Aaron shares, that's funny. I was just thinking of doing a similar class with my youngest as well. Oh, that's cool. You should go do it and let everyone know how it goes. Cheryl shares, I saw my dad in astral projection. We hugged, and he said, I didn't die. I'm back. I thought, why did he say that? And I know that we don't die. Oh, that's really funny. That's really funny.
Well,
thank you so much for sharing that.
From that dialogue, from what I just heard from this, is what I mean is what from what Kat just read, it sounds like that person might have reincarnated.
Oh, that's possible. Interesting. All right. Allie on Facebook asks, hello, Allie. She asks, how do I encourage myself to get up and do it? Thoughts, Tom?
Well, it kind of depends on what's motivating you to sit still. You know, there could be insecurities, there could be depression, there
Burnout.
could be, yeah, burnout. Um, and so, yeah, a couple of things. Yeah, I could tell you, oh, just get up and do it. Well, yeah, that's like what that's not very motivating. So, um, it also depends on what are you looking to go skydiving? Well, that does take a little bit of encouragement. So, I'm just throwing different things at you. What what encourages you? And one of the typical what's the word tools for building motivation, building your own personal willpower, is just take just one little step each day and say, okay, I'm going to take this one
And
step.
experience the success of that little step
Right.
every time you take it.
There you go. And maybe even a reward for that step.
Absolutely.
Not a large, just something simple of, oh, I did this, and
Did it.
and appreciate that. And then next, a period of time later, and it's up to you what that period of time is. Do 2 steps, and then of course you do that for a bit, and then you do 3 steps. So you're building up that willpower.
Marvelous. The I thought about this a lot over the last couple of years with the pandemic. The exact same thing and what helped me from Novus philosophy. I talked a lot to Asna about the barriers as I identified them of what was getting just any barrier at all towards getting towards the things that I wanted. I talked to Asna a lot, and that did really help to address each one of them, like piece by piece by piece by piece. And this year I asked Asna specifically, can you help me ease into having more fire of spirit? Can you help me just ease into it so that I'm not shocked by having suddenly tons of energy and motivation? Let me adjust to it. Let me understand what this is like again, just to make absolutely sure that I'm not going to get myself into a burnout cycle again. And so that was my personal process. Additionally, the other thing that comes to mind, Raheim once was talking about different chakras, and that can maybe be something that you can refer to in one of the Journey of Souls 3, I believe. And one of the chakras, the base chakra, they talk about, he mentioned that it is related to willpower. So if you felt like doing chakra work, that could be an option too, to just clean out that base chakra through some of the things that they talk about there.
So bug your spirit guide to,
yes,
I don't want to say throw ideas, help you get clarification.
Yes.
So you find out what works for you.
Yes. Tons of love your way. It's not fun, but tons of love your way. And let us know how it's going. Let's see here. Gibson says, Francine talked about the density of the body on the other side and how we can weave our own cells to heal our bodies here. So I've been practicing that. I hope I've interpreted that the right way. Oh, that's fabulous. Yes, that sounds accurate. Just weaving that density. That's what we just we just listened to that a couple of sessions ago, I think, too. So that's great. We appreciate you, Tom, says Aaron. It's true. It's very, very true. And Kristen shares, I'm a Pilates instructor. Yay for you with these emojis and some thumbs up. That's great. Love it. Thank you for the encouragement, sharing in the community. Garden says, thank you, Tom and Kat. I think a specialty tea afterwards might be my treat. That sounds lovely.
Hey, fun.
Let's see here. Oh, sometimes this is a little bit glitchy on this platform. Thank you for your patience. Allie says, thank you, both of you. Love you bunches. Love you too.
All right.
All right.
What do we do next?
I think with special prayers and then some segments. All right.
Oh, we did that. Oh, okay. Oh, I can't read and remember what the heck I wrote for myself. Anyway, special prayer. So we talked about some. Yes, we're going to include everybody, past, present, and future prayers that are needed. And what I encourage you to do is visualize what that outcome is and then add for the greater good. So we're going to ask for Mother God, the Archetypes, Archangels, our spirit guides to get in there and influence things to happen for those that are in need, for whatever special need we can see that could use some help. So let's take a moment of silence. We're going to put that energy out and say, get to it. Amen.
Amen.
And of course, if you want to do, post it in the comments. Of course, those become public. If you want to do a private, submit something private, you can go to our prayer chain on the website and submit it there, where no one will read those. And my last suggestion: be the prayer. If you see a need, fill it. If you are streaming challenged and you'd like to listen in on our conference call while we are live, we have a fancy number that you can call in on and listen through with your phone. And that number is 888-534-2696. And of course, I appreciate that when you're on there that you stay muted so everybody enjoys listening to the show. Now we get to the trance segments. Oh, and just a reminder, again, Kat and I, we're not prepped for this. We're listening just as you are to these segments. Well, we are a little prepped, but we haven't prepared anything. And so when it comes to, listening and helping you understand and answering questions or making, suggestions, this is, we're doing it by recollection, not by digging in and so if you hear something that sounds odd, research it. Tell us where you found it, and we're happy to make a correction and tell us about it. So we have trend segments. What do we get to hear about first?
Well, we are going to be listening to Raheim today.
We haven't heard Raheim in a while.
A long time, like seriously, almost a year. All right, so he's going to talk about, overall, we're talking about angels today. So I'm super excited. Be thinking about your angel experiences. Ask all of your angel questions as they come up. Really, really excited for today. The first segment, we're going to hear Larry talking about something that happened between Sylvia and Montel, something called Divine Wind. And Raheim then is going to talk about people not giving donations during services to cover the cost of services at the time. And he's going to share his thoughts on teachers in the church. But remember, overall, we are going to talk about angels today right after this. So here we go.
Cool. All right.
Manhattan, Wednesday the 20th. Sylvia had said to me the night before, I think Montel might come to this lecture, so I had seats reserved up front. He didn't show, so at 7 o'clock Sylvia goes on. Oh well, missed it. However, 1 hour later, off to the wings, I see the entourage, unbeknownst to Sylvia, of course. And it was the Montel bunch, so actually he did come. Now, the setting is Sylvia has been doing 1 hour of real dynamite spiritual lecture. I mean, it was killer. And I like to use the term now, divine wind. Japanese term is kamikaze for what Sylvia does in an audience. It's a divine wind. There's no question. People call back, say, I'm healed from what she told me. I don't know what it is, but I'm better.
Go to the subject.
This is anticipatory buildup. It's important to the effect I'm going for. Anyway, 1 hour of pure spirit, pure loveliness, I might add. And I go in front of Sylvia, in front of, this was the smaller group, 1,400. The other night was 2,600, 2,200, I'm sorry.
The other night was 32.
32, thank you. Numbers escape me. But I go in front of Sylvia, just stand there like a dope, and she goes,
What?
hello,
What?
I'm having a lecture. What now? And I go, and as I did that, Montel was coming on stage, and the whole place was shocked because, Montel. And it was stunning, but what she saw and I saw was this man coming with such fervent, adoring, powerful love that Sylvia literally went, as his gaze hit her. I don't know, I can't equate it to anything except a divine presence. I literally saw the face of God riding in on Montel's shoulders. It was in his eyes. He goes to her, enfolds her. Sylvia's now sobbing.
Kisses me.
He's crying. I'm crying.
He says, I love you, baby.
He's kissing her face, takes the mic and holds her at this length and goes into a 5-minute soliloquy of how beautifully lovely Sylvia is. Her words are directly from God's mouth. You people have to listen to what she says. She has saved my life more than once. 5 minutes of this. And what happened in that room, I can't describe, except when you see the face of God in your own meditations, then you'll know what I'm saying again. Sylvia was speechless. The entire audience is crying by now. Montel folds her back in. They're both crying. Sylvia thought she had to continue. I grabbed the mic, turned them both, and pushed them off stage. Said, get off. And I told the audience, please, we have to have a break. This is not going to hang on. He kept saying, I love you, I love you, I love you. It was the most loving, romantic thing. But what I'm inviting you to do on the other side is, because this was a very significant and powerful evening, please to visit my head and see it through my eyes. Because what I saw,
Larry and I were up half the night.
what I saw was God's face. And the power that came out of him was enormous. It was stunningly enormous.
Well, everybody called up the staff. B got one, I don't know how many. And everybody said, we were there and you weren't, and you just have no idea. and they said to B, we don't know how to explain it. Didn't they? They know how to explain it.
And you said, after I told you, how quiet.
Oh, you could have heard.
It
was
was
like the air stopped.
You will
silent.
never understand what the bond is that they have. And we all knew it. And they were like, I guess as he was coming in. That's the way she described it.
And he strode it.
They felt God that night, and I too did. And what a treat. And not how many hours before that, Sylvia was bitching out Asda. Am I ever going to get any sort of crumb? Anything? I work for you all the time. She does this now.
Just give me a look.
A crumb!
Once in a while.
And then Montel blew her apart.
So I didn't get a pearl, I got a giant diamond.
And I might add, 5 separate bouquets of flowers the next day. So
Our place looked like somebody at a funeral. In fact, the maid came in to clean up our room. No, there were 6 giant bouquets.
6 giant bouquets from other very centered people.
You know. Okay.
Not that far back.
Well, whatever.
Yeah, that's better. Just to keep
I
your
really don't know what to do with myself.
keep your all together intact.
I couldn't move pants tonight because I had my pictures, the PR pictures taken down, so I was sort of between it. Okay, I'm
Let's
ready
do
to
it.
go.
By the way, Raheim will be coming in.
Good to see you. Welcome to our world.
Good to see you. So now I have a
Dress.
and nails and other accoutrements. Tonight I wanted to talk to you at great lengths. I was told that from your last Sunday meeting, you brought in, with the people that were here, $118. The Northwest brought in $500. This is a donation that is not even, as Sylvia said, worth even renting a room for. This gives us a very clear idea, not that we won't hold prayer meetings or some type of a church meeting, but it becomes very clear to us that nobody appreciates the church. It isn't about money, but that isn't even $2 a head. That's a sad commentary, and especially when some people, like Gloria, give and tithe so much money. So we're very aware of that. And for somebody to come for the blessing of the children and not even give, and I'm not talking to you as people who didn't give, I'm talking to you as a body of people, that you should be very aware of why we're doing what we're doing. If people are not interested enough, if it was beads and mirrors, as Sylvia said, it would be the same thing. And if the church isn't appreciated enough, then we will move it into a clearinghouse and a study group of what it should be, and classes. But apparently they're not appreciating the Sunday services. Enid's very concerned about the older people that want to come. That's fine then. There can be a little separate service for the older people or whoever wants to come, held in one section of this place. But apparently Sunday services are not what people are interested in. And it's very interesting to note that there's about 4 or 5 of you that have lifetime certification for teaching. John, of course, being the superintendent. Myrna, really, I want to pull you into the teaching aspect of this. And Linda has shown great promise as far as being a teacher. Because being a religious organization, you can certify. And I can't imagine that you want to go teach anywhere else. I mean, if you're going to teach here, then...
Well, that was cut short. I didn't. Oh well. I'll have to look at that one again. Anyway, I was thinking of Raheim's comment. Yeah, that was based on at that period of time, and I was like, oh, how many venues were there Sunday services offered? And I'm like, well, in 5 seconds, I could only count like about 5 or 6 of when the church got started. You know, there were various places over time, depending on budget and capacity and that those kind of things. It was fun to see the different venues over time, where services were offered in the Campbell area.
Yeah, I think it is. I thought it was interesting that was the first thing that Raheim commented on, was just instantly, like, if you care about something,
Yeah,
where are
calling
you?
us out on the carpet.
Yeah, it was a come to Jesus moment right there. But if you, because but I think that it's interesting because whenever Raheim talks about church, he's always quite passionate. In the past, we've heard him talk about how it's good management of self to go to church. It's like you have to stick together, like be a community, value your community. How do you show you value your community? I always think that's interesting, because when it's almost like a snapshot of what it's like to come to church, and it's all like it's very easy to come into the spirit of Asna, the spirit of non-materialism, and just to be like in this like kind of ephemeral place that isn't materialistic at all. But then when you leave church,
reset.
Right. And then when you leave church, though, then it's back to the material world and thinking, oh gosh, how am I going to afford this? How am I going to afford this? How am I going to afford this? And I appreciate Raheim's attitude. He's always trying to say, like, no, you want to have a marriage of practicality. If you want to actually have a church, you need to bring your practicality into it and foster it with effort, foster it with willpower, foster it with showing what is it that you can give to your community. So I thought that was interesting. I was like, oh, he came out calling people out. Oh, all right.
Yeah.
God bless. Yeah. I promised I was going to show my beliefs flower. So I'll do my best here to get it
right there.
All right. Okay, fantastic. All right, I'm going to hide my face then a little bit. So the top, this was the first one that just popped out in my head, leading with light. And it's not necessarily about going out and leading other people. It's also like leading, like let light be the lead by which I take my first steps in the day, like leading myself. So it's that stuck out. Next one, which is Reverend Danny called it earlier today, my will and God's will are the same will. And that was a very freeing belief. So that was important. Another belief that I have is accuracy of speech and reporting. So to be an accurate reporter and to hold myself to the standard of being as accurate as possible and not embellishing. And I've really tried to make that a very important lodestar for myself. And right next to that is fidelity to the truth. It's just like, no, we got to stick by the truth. Got to stick by exactly what the truth is, and not twist it and really try to understand. And this is very Gnostic. It's like in search of truth. Then when you start finding some truth, you got to have some fidelity to it. So that was important to me. Another belief that's super important, mercy and kindness. So that's one of the 8 keys of mystical traveler, is to be merciful. And that's always been the one that has stuck out the most for me, is to be kind and to be merciful and to practice forgiveness towards other people. It's really important to me. And the last one here is keeping my own counsel. Okay, listen. All right, that one took a little bit to come up with, but it is absolutely true. So many people will say, hey, have you seen this speaker? Hey, have you seen this speaker? Hey, have you listened to this person? Hey, have you read this book? Hey, have you read this person's motivational speech? Or was like, and I'm like, no. No.
Have you downloaded the internet, YouTube across the internet? Yeah, all of it.
No. They're like, but they're very inspirational. I'm like, no. The best inspiration that I can get is from our Gnostic community. First of all, that is what has worked best for me. It's from the wisdom of my friends and loved ones that I have taken time to build trust and love and respect for their opinions, and I understand where they're coming from. And then between me and and me and Asda, that's what it comes down to. Like, I don't I don't need some other person's truth to tell me that, oh, I should wake up at this time of day and I should be getting this much sleep and I should be doing that. Like, no, I don't care. I do not care. I will keep my own counsel and I will find the path that is right for me, and I will listen to the people that I trust and respect, and make course adjustments from there. That's what that came down to. I had to sit and think on that one. So
Yeah.
and then at the very, very center, beliefs as an anom. That's where I put them. So
Fun.
cool. Next one is hopes flower. All right.
Cool. Any comments? Like one comment so we can jump to the next trance segment.
Yeah, sure. I'll hop over to D over on YouTube. She says, such heartwarming story to hear Montel and Sylvia's connection from her past lives, the Rich and Famous books. It was amazing to hear how their connection was lifetimes in the making. Amen. Really, really heartwarming. I'll read one more while you're pulling it up. Gibson says over on Facebook, I've been to other churches and this is the best. I learned something and I don't hear a sermon of negativity, and I'm not there all day long. Amen. All right. So for our second segment, we're going to hear Raheim get into it. Spirit is going to talk about making a booklet for adults and children on angels and the phyla of creations. Angels themselves, the phyla angels, are male and female. Archetypes, which is another phyla of angels, they are just male and they protect the planet, land, and animals. Next phyla, archangels, have wings and have distinct jobs, like Ariel, Raphael, Michael, Melcheesus. That's a new name. I had to put it in there. Female archangels' wings gleam silver, and males' archangels' wings gleam gold. Ariel and Michael have gold wings, and then we're going to hear about Chris and Ia, his daughter.
Cool. All right. Here we go.
So let's get to the subject at hand. In the hierarchy, and the reason why we brought this to the foreground, and Aina scooped my lecture the other day because she came in and talked to the Northwest, and she did a very good job. But I'm the one that researched this, and I'm the one that brought it to her attention, so she scooped me on it, but that's all right. And I know you've heard this before, but let's be a little bit more definitive, because this can be an actual booklet. And also, this is a training booklet, and I think it should actually be put into children's terms as well as adults. We know that we have the guides, and we do know that the guides are people that we've either lived with in another life or are on the other side. We also know that they are made flesh. They are the incarnates, made flesh. After that, we have what is known as the phylums. See, we're all separate phylums, and we are known as what we call the humanoids. That in any planet, anyone who comes into life, which is a separate definitive creation from Mother, because she's the primary creator, were made differently than the angels. The angels have no incarnation, will never have an incarnation. They are male and female, both. They can be light, they can be dark. They have no wings. No wings. The archetypes right above that are basically all light colored, and this is certainly not to be discriminatory against any people that are of dark skin. They just happen to be very light beings. They also are very androgynous, and they seem to be all male. There does not seem to be any female archetypes. They are the protectorates of the planet. They're the ones that you call on. You can call on them for protection, but they really protect, they're trying to protect the rainforest, the animals. They might be called, in a broader term, the divas of the planet. Now, as most of you know, and the next trance will go into more definitive of Lilith and her lore levels. And this is certainly by no means to tell you that this is like the river Styx or the underworld or whatever, but we also have a very definite phylum of what we call the lore levels. But don't think of the lore levels as being bad. Those are the fairies, the gnomes, the nightmare section of, but they're all created, all creations. But Lilith is the goddess, as it were, of the fairies and the divas of everything that is molecular, because you have the divas of the couch, the wall, because everything has a spirit force in it, as the Native American knew this to be true. That's why you see the idea of knocking on wood was such a big thing, because that was to get any of the demons out of the wood. So that's why the luck was. In other words, if you're in there, we're going to cut you down, so leave. That was where the knock on wood came from. And when anything was ever killed, it was blessed by the Native American. So did the Anastasis do this. Anything that was killed or a branch was broken, it was lovingly done. It was blessed to be, and used only for the purpose to aid mankind, never to do it for cruelty. It was only done out of need for food, or need for something that was usable, never to just be, you know, like, for instance, like the Americans came, the white man came to kill buffalo just to kill them. The American Indian never, Native American never killed a buffalo without using the hide, the coat, the hooves, the horns, every part, the bones, every part was used as a blessing from God. Now, the archetypes try to protect this. And I think that this world would have been in a much worse state than it is if it had not been the archetypes. Because they do try to protect the land, the animals, the porpoises. Now, we have the Archangels. Now, this is where Sylvia, and it's not because of that she's not smart, but we had to tell her that the only angels that have wings are the archangels. And the only reason she came into this is because she saw one. And she saw the wingspan. Why the archangels? And there's thousands of archangels. You just happen to know some by the name of Ariel or Raphael or Michael, and we have a great one by the name of Melcheesus. We have many, many archangels, and the female archangels come in all colors. We have beautiful black ones, we have beautiful American Indian ones, the one that looked like Egyptian ones. We have ones that look more Spanish. We have the very blonde ones. And they're very definitive. In other words, they're more humanoid than any of the other ones because they have very distinct features. And they're all allocated to either being messengers, healers, and the more advanced the archangel is, the more their wings show. The females seem to show a very almost white silvery color, and the more silvery their wings means the more they're advanced. So they have an advancement scheme the same as you do. Now, the males show gold, and their gold is very brilliant, like St. Michael the Archangel, that's always been sort of the patron archangel of your group, as well as Ariel, who's also been the protectorate. And that is Angel Leah's guide. Now, that's very unusual for anyone to have an archangel as a guide. And I know why that is because she has such a hard, not as hard as Sylvia's had, but she's going to have a very hard role to live up to Sylvia's shoes. These are very, very big shoes to fill. And she's the one that comes after her in about 20 some odd years, which is just about the time that Sylvia exits, that she will take over. And that's why I think Chris is paving the way not only for the ministry, but to make way for his daughter to have a place in which she can be substantially. So for as long as this planet exists, so will this religion grow and become big.
So interesting foretelling and sharing, and for more detail, there's the book of Angels, that gives more. I don't recall where all the trance information or all the information in the book came from, because there's various sources. But that's this was, like, to me, I believe, is the basis of the Sylvia's book, Book of Angels.
Yes, and we have a question that is a question that's also on my mind, can you hear me? Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry, I'm teasing. I'm listening. What's the question?
Okay, Oracle asks, confused. Sylvia's description of angels is that all the phylum have wings, and now it's only archangels. Which is it? I don't know.
I don't recall Sylvia saying all angels have wings.
She said, it's like, continue.
I mean, if you recall different, that's fine. For quite a bit of time, Sylvia didn't believe angels had wings until I think it was an archangel showed up in her house and was like, "Look at me," and she's like, "Okay, now I have to go back on my what I said." So, and we're just hearing, Raheim pointing out the, sharing with us what he's learned about the different phylum, what each one, the different features of each one.
Yeah. So one possibility, because I'm also wondering about this too, because Sylvia's Book of Angels is on my phone. It's like one of the few that I don't have up there.
Yeah.
But one possibility that I thought of is that it's like is that maybe they don't think of all of those phylum as all being underneath an angel umbrella, and it's only like a subset that's under, that they're saying, like, of this subset, maybe it's only archetypes archangels. Maybe it's only archangels that have wings. That's the only flex that I can come up with in my mind. I don't know. I do not know. Because sometimes when they go back to clarify something and they clarify it, it's like some extremely specific thing that I was like, oh, that's what you meant.
See, I'm still,
I don't know.
I still get archetypes and archangels, like, I use the word, it's the same thing, but it's like, okay, are they or aren't they? Well, that's something I need to memorize for myself. I do recall in the Book of Angels that, yes, there is a phylum that have the wings, and on the tips of the wings, there's distinguishing colors as well, and for various purposes, from whether it's healing or things of that nature. So yeah, I would encourage you to go read Sylvia's book, Book of Angels,
Yes,
to
there
get
is.
that distinct clarification.
Right, because there is a future trance we're going to hear about Seraphim and Cherubim in detail, and that their wings are neon almost. So I don't know. They might be having like this mini umbrella underneath the big umbrella of this phylum. I don't know. I wish that we were there to ask the question to please explain this. Too. So. Good question. If there's a future trance ever with Chris or Angelia, I'll be super happy to be in there and be like, hey, could you please clarify this, just so we have some understanding.
Well, we're also going off of our recollection of things too. So, there's this information. There's what's in Sylvia's Book of Angels, and we're going to hear more coming up.
Yes.
And if you've only ever seen, if angels show themselves, whether it's in a dream or in meditation, or by some chance you're fortunate enough to have one show themselves to you, that's go with that as well. That's information for you as well.
Yes. I'm just reading over the notes. Okay, so gosh.
What?
If we were to listen through it again, I know that in Sylvia's Book of Angels, as I recall, there's a phyla that is just angels, as they're like baby angels. You could say, not actual babies, but just like the lowest level is just angels.
Yeah.
It's possible that this is the group that they're saying does not have wings.
That's my understanding. Yeah. That's my understanding.
So, archetypes are energetic, and and it sounds like they don't have wings. Sounds like they don't need wings. Archangels are the ones that we usually see as humankind, and they do have wings. But that makes sense because it's like, literally a messenger. Interesting. And then from there, you start getting into these like specialized upper phyla that does not incarnate.
Yeah.
Specialized messengers from God. So I was looking up the root of the word angel, and it means messenger in Greek. So if it's helpful, like just think of this entire group as like different types of messengers and helpers of God that can be dispatched for different things. So good question.
Any other comments?
Yes, we do have a couple more comments. Old School says, when we butchered our meat, I always said a special prayer thanking the animal and for giving its life to sustain ours. I also would stop at deceased animals side of the road and spread tobacco and prayer for its life too. That is a really beautiful gesture. Thank you for sharing. Crystal over on Facebook says, Sylvia said not all psychics are 100%, and I think she learned different information through time, but I'm sure her Book of Angels explains through time. Thank you very much for that comment. Allie says archetypes are like models and patterns or forms. Yes, they take on these energetic things. Like an archetype can wrap around a tire. An archetype can wrap around a heart. An archetype can be a protective bubble around us. They can just change shape and form, and their purpose is to protect the planet, the land, the animals, and we can ask for archetypes to be to wrap around our body for health purposes. And then Allie finishes by saying, and archangels are angels of high rank. Yeah, that sounds accurate.
Last one.
Last one. Aaron says, so when we ask God for his blessing of our food, there is an actual reason behind it. And indeed. Thank you very much for your comments, everyone. And now we can move on to our last segment. Raheim's going to continue talking about talking about the council, their master teachers, and never incarnate. He's going to talk about heated disagreements on the other side, Cherubim and Seraphim angels, and Principalities and Thrones angels.
Okay, fun. More knowledge for us.
Yes.
She won't be locked in Sylvia is now. Though.
No, Sylvia's done that. So did her grandmother. She will be more out there in the foray of the lecturing circuit, because money will be better. No, Sylvia spent her time in purgatory in that room. Now, after the Archangels, and this is what made us bring this, and of course, you have council. Council, of course, that's a phylum of the people that, and they don't fit into any particular branch of those that watch over, but they are the consulting group that, by the way, have never, as you know, ever been reincarnated, but they are what we call the master teachers. Now, those of you that are mission life entities, and most of you are that, or the mystical travelers that are of Nouveau, you don't really listen to council as much. You have your own council on Nouveau. But all of us, when we go over, we check into the council of that planet. That's just a courtesy that we do. And while we're here on this planet, we do listen to council. I still, even though I go back and forth to Nouveau, I'm very tuned into what council wants, because there's an old expression, when in Rome, you do as the Romans do. So I am very, very, as Francine, she's much more diplomatic than I am. I'm not as diplomatic. I fought with council many times. And we don't really fight. We have heated disagreements. Let's put it that way. But they're very much for the mission. Now, what brought this to a head was, as you know, there is cherubim and seraphim. And the cherubim and the seraphim are the angels that sit right below the Mother and Father God. These are very brilliant beings, and they are more of what we call the protectorates of the planet. But that's on the upper realms. That's on the higher degree. And that means that they are the ones that really descend, if they wish to be healers, and they can also, but they don't descend. And when I say descend, and Francine has a problem with this word too, I don't mean that they come up from, I should say they go through and come to this lower level, because they're all on this same level, except they go at a higher vibration. So when I say descend, please use that in conjunction with what I mean is they are coming through to this vibrational level, which is very hard for them because of their advanced state. What brought this to our attention was in the middle of one of the lectures, Francine and I were in attendance, as were many archangels. All of a sudden we looked up and we saw the thrones and the principalities in attendance. Now, these are the thrones, are the right hand of Asna. These are her warriors. This is her secret service, as it were. This is her her special troops. This is her army. The principalities are now from Father God's right hand. We have never known, and I was the one that checked the records, the archives, never known of a principality to ever come through the vibrational level. Ever. They have never been known to. We've checked Akashic records. I have checked all the researching that I can. I've gone way back to not only prehistoric times, but pre-planetary time. Have conversed with people on other planetary systems within this last few months and never heard of a principality making it through the... Now, she is not the person that brought them through, and I'm not saying that to diminish Sylvia. It's because the principalities have been sent by God the Father, as well as the thrones, to make sure that there is a blessing put upon this religious movement.
And it's very tangible as the lectures.
Yes, and I think that's where you got the wind of God, because divine wind, because the principalities, and I saw, Francine saw 2 and I saw 3. As advanced as we wish to be, as advanced as we hope to be, you can't really look at a principality that long. They are so brilliant, and they carry with them, not that each and every one of you doesn't carry a spark of the divine, but they really are, as Sylvia would say, and Francine coined it, they really are a chip off the block. I mean, they really are, as you are, but in pure, infinite form. And you say, well, infinite means continuous. They are, and they're brilliant, and they're gorgeous, and they're absolutely... They are the ultimate of the healers, as well as the thrones. The thrones are just as brilliant, but their essence is so magnificent. Now, there must have been 10 thrones there. And not to diminish the thrones, but because Asna is so omnipresent in your midst so much, because she, after all, is called the interferer, she is. And that's certainly not a negative word, because she can come in and out at will. She is the one that takes shape. So it's not unusual for us to see the thrones. But to see a principality was just beyond anything. We were so thrilled. And the night that Montel came across the stage towards Sylvia was when we first noticed the principalities. And I was the first one that noticed them. At first, I wasn't even sure what I'd seen. Because even though we are advanced entities to be communicating guides, as all of you will be communicating guides, there's certain things, not that we're not allowed to see, but we still are in a state of advancement in which we can't even hold the image of God very long, because it's so gigantic for us. But to know that you as a group, as a Gnostic group, have called in these principalities is more than we ever expected. So this is to show you, for lack of a better word, our finiteness, that we are constantly learning as you are. There was no way that we had any warning or any anticipatory knowledge that a principality would show up. And I don't know how to explain to you what a blessing and grace that is unless you could see one. And you couldn't see one with your eyes in human form. I'm sorry.
Should I turn that? Is that bothering you, the fan?
Can it go lower? No good?
Can't go lower, but I can just turn it
You
off.
could turn it, I
Redirect
guess.
it.
I wasn't, yeah, it's just kind of, because she's got hair and everything. See, I have hair too, very long, but I wind it up in my turban. I have not cut my hair. I don't know if you know about the Sikhs, but we don't cut our hair, we wind it. And then we keep it within our turban. Except I'm unlike a lot of Sikhs, I'm clean shaven. I don't want all that on me. I don't like it.
a unique Sikh.
Yes. It's
And
always interesting to hear about his life.
who's got more? Someone's begging for attention over there, or appreciating the attention.
Right. Yeah.
I see we've got a lot of conversation going on too. There's like 327 chat remarks. It's almost like, geez, are they even paying attention to us here? Or are they talking to themselves?
Angel days, every time we talk about angels, we always have lots of conversation, which is fascinating. Oh boy. So I am only aware of having met an angel once, as I've probably met. We've all apparently met them a lot more than we realize.
Mm-hmm.
I was having so I'll share my angel story just because I was a young person. I was only a kid. I was in 8th grade, so I was really quite young, probably like 11, 12, and which is the time period that we've been told is when kids start to realize that life's not all it's cracked up to be, and it's actually kind of awful. Mm-hmm. So I was a young person and really, really struggling with that. And I had said, and I wasn't Gnostic yet. I didn't really have faith. I believed in God, but I didn't understand it much more than that. As you know, it's pretty average. And I had said that day, I was like, I don't know if I can deal with this bullying anymore. And I said, if one person is kind to me, I will keep on going. One person, just one. This sounds like a really sad story because it is. I went through the whole day at school, not so much as a smile from anybody. I was the only person of color. And I looked mostly white, but when I was younger, we didn't know how to take care of my hair, so I had this Whoopi Goldberg afro from Sister Act, and I had prominent African-American nose and lips, and I had my features were all developing at different, like just completely out of sync from white America in rural Montana, and so I got a lot of racism, and I got picked on a lot, and I got bullied a lot, and so I had said that day, if even one person is kind to me, I will keep on going. And went through the whole day, and finally at the very end of the day, not a single person, not even a teacher, had been nice or smiled at me or given any sort of encouragement, which which really, really impacted me in the long run to be proactive as possible, to be nice to other people. Mm-hmm. That's where that mercy key, I think, really got activated, was in this particular moment. And I was walking home just feeling so sad for humanity. And I was walking my usual route, and it was a time of day that the mail shouldn't be there. And I turned the corner and I collided with a mail lady, and someone I'd never seen before. She was so beautiful. She was older. She had silvery hair. She could have been a council member for all I know. I don't know, but she was like dressed as a postal service messenger, right?
Mm-hmm. Good. Yes.
And she gave me the most heartwarming smile, like she saw me, and like I wasn't just another ugly African-American kid, just like that I was so used to people treating me like. And she just saw me, and she smiled like I actually mattered and that it was okay. And I said, excuse me. She didn't say anything. And I walked around. I didn't see her little mail van anywhere. I didn't see it anywhere. And then when I got up to where the mail should be, that's where the mail was. It was a different mail carrier. And so after that, I was like, okay, I'm good. I'm good forever. We're good. Thank you very much. And I never saw her again on that route, like, because it's the same time every day. Like, no, never saw her again. And so I just like, I'm good. We're good. I'm just going to keep on trucking, And I took that lesson extremely hard, to not, like, first of all, to not just don't despair. Like, don't let myself get to that level of despairing, for one. And second of all, I need to go out of my way to be kind to people, because you never know if someone is in despair or not. You don't know.
Yeah.
So that's my
Interesting.
story. Yeah.
Fun, like double-sided lesson there. Cool.
Yeah.
Two comments,
Two
and
comments.
then we gotta move on.
Okay. Garden says, there was a picture of a cloud in the shape of an angel taken from a plane passed around. I saw it, but I don't know these people anymore. It was a cool picture with no face, robe and rope belt. This sounds like a really neat angel story there. And some folks are talking about the other brother, like God's other brothers. And just as a friendly reminder, we're told it's 44, and there's 44 brothers, and we can't see into the other universes, but they're connected by black holes. And so we know that God wants to stay connected to his brothers, which is cool. That's cool. A little sibling love there. But we just worry about our own universe. All right. Thank you all so much for the wonderful discussion. It's a pleasure to read. What's next?
I need another candle. I thought this was
right.
Well, it might be the fan that just accelerated the burning. So,
I love it.
Everything's gone. Oh well. We still get love and light but anyway, now it's time for meditation. And for those of you that want to participate, we encourage you to sit with your feet flat on the floor and your palms upward on your lap to receive that wonderful healing energy. This is a short meditation by Sylvia. And for those of you that need to pay attention to what you're doing, don't pay attention to us, but by all means come back and listen to these wonderful meditations in the on-demand. And for the rest of us, I gotta go find it. I have not learned to talk and use a mouse at the same time. Oh, yeah. Okay, here we go. This should be easy. All right, enjoy this. Find a comfortable place to sit with your feet flat on the floor, or a comfortable place to lay if you need to, and your hands palms upward on your lap. Now, to start relaxing the mind, body, and spirit, take 3 deep breaths and let go of any concerns of the day or the week or the month. Now, close your eyes when you are ready.
Music and colors. You feel brilliant sunlight shining directly on you. You are enveloped by our Father in heaven, and Mother Asna is with you, wielding her golden sword and taking away all pain. Moving your mind laterally, you open its channels wide and clear. You go back to a morphic resonance of when we all lived as Gnostics with pure knowledge and belief, and no dogmatic authorities. You are sent a crescendo of color and sound and beauty. It permeates every single molecule and cell of your being. The colors and music seem to have a life of their own, flowing through you. You feel yourself affirming. The music of your soul resounds to the touch of the divine. In sound and color, my spirituality has risen to new heights. and I am at peace. You are imbued now with courage, fortitude, and perseverance. All those nitpicky, human and worldly cares are rinsed away. You feel your spirit rise and touch God, and forever after this moment your soul will never be separated from God, because it has touched the divine, which will live with you for eternity.
Now, bring that wonderful feeling back. On the count of 3, come all the way back. 1, 2, 3. Fully alert, fully awake.
Beautiful.
Yeah, rejuvenating.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Also, I see in the comments that one of our listeners that we haven't heard from in a while, Miss LJ, is here and is recovering. And just if anyone has a moment to spare some prayers her way to continue her recovery, it'd be much appreciated. Nice to see you, lady.
Good.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if you
Otherwise.
have questions about what we shared, feel free to post in chat or email us questions to kat@novus.org or tom@novus.org, or, you know what, I got to look it up because I made it, newspirit@novus.org. And of course, we appreciate the listeners, both live and on demand. Show your appreciation for New Spirit Radio by sharing, promoting, liking. Check out our websites. You should know them. Novus.org, SylviaBrowne.com, and ChrisRightNow.com. And where are we on Facebook? Well, right where we're supposed to be. Society of Novus Spiritus, Sylvia Browne Group, and New Spirit Radio Show. Let's see. Yes, we're on YouTube at Society of Novus Spiritus and Psychic Awareness. You'll find Chris there on occasion, live on occasion. Yes, we have a Discord account that you can share, post, and like. Study groups. You can learn more about our philosophy, plus you donate and get something in return. What else can we do? Well, we have church services. You can watch Sunday services on Facebook and YouTube. I post on the first Sunday of the month, which is coming up this Sunday. Ellen Schloss, Reverend Ellen Schloss, has 2 special services. There's a special Zoom service that you can participate in on the last Sunday of the month, or on the first Sunday of the month, you can either show up in person and participate, or be invited to the their Facebook group that has the live posting. They post that service live. Let's see. While my saliva runs out, we can then step into the novena, which is the special prayer ceremony. So what we're going to do, I'm having trouble reading my notes here because I've made some fun adjustments. However, so what we're going to do is say a phrase together. I'm going to lead it off. We'll just say it at the same time. And the phrase is, I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. And I'll suggest what to ask for after that. So we're going to say that 3 times. Then I'll tell you what to ask for. We'll have a moment of silence. And then we'll do that again 2 more times. So a total of 3. What is this about? Yes, you have heard Francine and Raheim tell us that we are, a spark of the divine. And it follows our tenet number 10 that says, let no one convince you that you are less than a god. Do not let fear imprison your spiritual growth. So I'm going to encourage you, let's see, so I can, there we go. That works much better for me. Thank you. So what we're going to do is we're going to visualize that we're all holding hands together in a large room together, and it doesn't matter when you're watching this. Just visualize that we're all together, holding hands together, and we're going to say all this together. So I'll start us off and just follow with me. Say it with me. Here we go. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. Now, ask for things for yourself. Okay, the second one. Here we go. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. Now, ask for things for others. Okay? And the last one. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. Now, picture our light going out like a beacon of light for others seeking this spiritual knowledge. And with that thought in mind, think of something that you're appreciative of from last week, and carry that memory with you throughout the next week. That's going to help keep your mood elevated and help you feel uplifted. In addition to that, show your appreciation to Francine and Raheim for researching all of this wonderful knowledge, Sylvia for coming to this insane asylum of the universe to start this movement, and for showing us how to get some peace of mind and grace while we're here, Asna for helping us and protecting us, and Father God for providing the most prestigious school for us to experience, learn, and satisfy our unique spark of curiosity. Appreciate Bobbing O for helping with some of the audio and some of the graphics. And of course, our special appreciation for CME and Javon for the wonderful intro, outro, or theme music we have. Writing, setup, and hosting is Reverend Catherine Taylor. Editing, technical direction, and hosting is Reverend Tom Bigley. And now, a prayer by Sylvia. Where did I put those? Yep, here we go. Prayer by Sylvia.
Prayer for jubilation and thanksgiving should be said every morning on a daily basis. Praise be to the creators. Praise be to Mother and Father God. Praise be to their holy and sacred names. Praise be to the life givers. Praise be to the positive and joyful givers. We ask that our souls be filled with your love today and with your omnipotent grace. Praise be your holy names. Fill my heart with love, and where there is love, there can be no taint of despair, greed, or negativity. Praise be your holy names.
And Kat's going to tell us.
We love you very, very much. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week into the weekend, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Good night.
For so long we have ignored you, as if you were not there. All praise went to the Father. We were so unaware that through the years you've shed your tears for all the pain we bear. Oh, Asna, how we love you. Place no one above you. Always thinking of you. Bless your name. You are Mother God. You've planted every blade of grass, creator of the stars. And when I'm feeling down and out, you mend my broken heart. So now I sing this song of thanks because of who you are. Oh, Asna, how we love you. Place no one above you. Always thinking of you. Bless your name. You are Mother God. You're more than a friend to me. You give me everything I need. In your peace you hold me tight. You are the bringer of the light. With no fear we boldly stand, because you hold this world in your hands. You are the truth, you are the hope and love we never knew. Oh, Asna, how we love you. Place no one above you. Always thinking of you. Bless your name. You are Mother God. Mother God.